You know the vibes. www.daymcomic.com, DAYMCOMIC.com. Click the link below. Order your comic books right now. They're dropping in a few months. Don't be without one.
Hey guys, what's going on? Antonio here. Dave Chapelle is back. That is fantastic news. He put out a video on his Instagram yesterday, basically announcing to everybody a couple of things. Number one, that he is recovered from coronavirus. Looks like there were people there, so he's back performing. He's been doing these shows down in Texas, around in the Austin area, I know, and wherever Joe Rogan is. I know Joe Rogan lives in Texas too, because he's just been doing like tons of shows down there. But he got corona. One thing he talked about in the video, which is like 10 minutes or so, was that, certain people were happy when he actually caught the COVID. And it was like, oh, you were being irresponsible, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. But he has made a full recovery, and he's back performing. And he also announced that he reached a new deal with CBS Viacom in regards to Chappelle Show. Now, what was a couple months ago, he had put out a video and he had talked at length about how he signed his deal when he was 28, 29 years old, and a lot of things that we have now, like streaming, did not exist. People, the whole thing, he went to South Africa. People say, oh, Chappelle went crazy, blah, blah, blah. Turned out $50 million and all this kind of thing. When you look at Chappelle's deal now, a lot of experts say that if that deal had been negotiated properly back then, if he had a proper representation, Chappelle would have got in excess of $300 to $500 million, not $50 million. So when you look at $300 to $500 million versus $50 million, that's quite a different leap. Not to mention, he said they actually own the name Chappelle Show, so he could not just do another show. Hey, the Dave Chapelle Show or whatever, and all this. Comedy Central actually owned that. When he did his video yesterday, that was one of the big sticking points he announced. They back paid him several $1 million, which he said, that's good. Always salute you getting the bag, Dave. The other thing was he has the rights to his name back. He mentioned that, and he also thanked the people at Comedy Central for being willing to sit down and renegotiate his deal. So he's telling the fans, matter of fact, it's back on. Chappelle Show should be back on your Netflix. If you watch Chappelle Show on Netflix, it's back on now. So he is encouraging his fans to please go to Netflix and watch Chappelle Show, because now he's getting paid for it. So he's happy about that. Dave, I'm a big fan of his. I saw him live at the Ryman. I think it was in 2014. Him and Donnell Rollins. So it was a great show. Really loved it. Big fan, and happy for Dave, because he talked about some of the people throwing shade at him when he first said, hey, don't support this show if I'm not getting paid. And one thing he said was, I'm pretty good at minding my business because it's my business. He knows what's his business. And by his own admission in the original video, he was young and did not understand the way that a lot of things are different now. You think about how media has changed since Chappelle Show was on. A lot of people didn't know about streaming. Was in its infancy, and they definitely weren't doing television. They were doing music streaming. Some of those services were starting to, like iTunes and all that, but they didn't understand. They weren't doing video streaming, and that wasn't even. Always go back. What was the guy? I think it was Don Adams. He was Maxwell Smart on Get Smart. And there was one of the interview he did a few years ago, before he died. He was on the Today Show, and he talked about how he ended up getting this great deal, and he got partial ownership of Get Smart. because when they came to all the principal actors on the show, they were like, okay, we can just pay you out, or you can get like a partial royalty, which will be less money up front for you, but you'll own a piece of the show. And so if anything happens, you know, in the long run, it'll end up paying out. And he wasn't sure at first, and a lot of the other matter of fact, I'm pretty sure all the other actors, the actress that played 99 and everything, they all took the big payout. And Don said that he took the ownership, and then obviously they syndicated it. They did all these movies and all this stuff, so that stuff ended up working out in his favor. And like I said, they weren't doing a lot of that stuff when Chappelle Show was on the air. They were selling, it was the home video stuff. They were selling DVDs. And they didn't know they was going to be streaming it to these different services and all this. So like I said, that people were like, oh, wow, you know, he had a $50 million deal. How did that work out? And then, like I said, I've seen some experts say that he should have gotten paid $3 in the long run. That deal would have benefited him with the way that show has performed and the revenue that it generated. He would have got $300 to $500 million if his people had a little bit of foresight and he had gotten a little bit more ownership of the show. So that's a lot of money. But the fact that Dave is saying that Comedy Central came to him, they gave him a nice big balloon payment of his words, several $1 million. I salute you for getting that bag, brother. There is nothing wrong with that. I don't know, Chappelle fans out there, let me know what you guys think in the comment box. I'm out. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And please check out my podcast at anchor.fm/Ikari Press, or just type in Ikari Press on your favorite podcasting platform. I'm out.